All right, I'm gonna, because I said I would, and why not? It's the end of the year. I'm gonna pull some cards. And actually, let me get, so for many, many, many years, I did a monthly Anubis Oracle Circle. And I'm on pause for now because I need to take a break while I just started a PhD program. Some of you may know that. And so I've put all my online class type things on hold for now as I kind of settle in. I mean, except for this journey to Egypt, I kind of threw that into my mix. And I'll actually be in school while we're on the river. And so we'll see how that all works. Um, but this Anubis Oracle Circle that I did every month was super fun. One of my favorite things. And so I have all the cards here on a screen. And so, bear with me here. I am sharing my screen. There they are. Hello, Anubis Oracle. So for those of you who have worked with this deck, this top row here, these are composite cards. And within each one, there are multiples of the Neteru, or in this case of the very last card, of all the elements. And then all these cards down here, except for a few of them, they represent one Neter, or deity of ancient Egypt. And the exception of that is we have Nuit and Geb down here, which is earth and sky. And then we have Sobek and Horus, the crocodile and the hawk, the elder hawk, right? So we do have a couple of doubles, but they go together, right? I mean, though they can stand on their own as their own being, in this deck, they really form a whole through that duality. Okay, so I think let's do this. Let me get rid of these. And oops, wait, no, sorry. I'm going to duplicate. Don't want to get rid of that one. I do want to get rid of this one. All right, so I'm going to shuffle the cards. And I think what I'll do is I'll pull one card to represent last year, right? 2024, that's behind us. And one card to represent you, whatever it is that you are in this moment, the now, right? The arriving into yourself. And then one card will be our allies for 2025. So 3 cards. Okay. All right. So this is for all of us. And the first card is jumping out at me. And the card for last year, where are you? Is Kansu. Whoop. Okay. And the card that represents you right now, arriving in this moment, is Nuit and Geb. Boop. All right. And the card for this next year of 2025, I feel a little trepidation actually. I'm gonna put them down a second. I don't want to put trepidation into the cards. I'm like, oh, 2025, what's coming? Beauty, abundance, growth, opportunity, healing, a lot of healing, global healing. Okay, now 2025. That one. Beautiful. Okay. And so, oops. Copy. So the card for 2025, alchemy. So as you look at each of these cards, I invite you, you don't have to know a lot about the deities, or you can. You can just feel into them and what they read for you individually, personally. And I'll share what I see in these 3 cards together. So Kansu. we see Khonsu here. He's a baboon. He's a moon god. He is represented as this being who is all about divine timing, right? Here, down here, it says lunar energies, divine timing, blood mysteries, right? Because of that, the cycles of the moon, right? And how the cycles of the moon are connected into the woman's womb, and how the bleeding of the womb happens on this lunar cycle. Khonsu is really all about, in many ways, he's about calling in that which is the dis-ease, right? The dis-ease. Because often when there is something that is difficult, hurtful, painful, we want to push it away. We want to avoid it. We want to lock it up. We want to medicate it. We want to get rid of it. And rightly so. However, Khonsu, I think of him like homeopathy, in that he calls in that which is causing the problem in order to heal the problem. Some of you have heard me tell this story of Khonsu. There was, and this is my version of it, it's not how it's written on the hieroglyphs, so, discernment in all things ancient Egypt. There was a very important man, and he had a very ill child. And he tried everything to help heal the child. He called in the doctors from the farthest corners of the land to heal it. Nothing worked. And so one day there came a knock at the door, and he opens it, and there stands Khonsu. And he says, I hear that you have a sick child, and I've come to help. And the very important man is like, oh, I've tried everything. What can you do? And Khonsu says, well, send a note to your kitchens. Cook the finest feast with the best drink. Lay your dining hall with the most splendid arrangement. And so the very important man did this. And then Khonsu threw open the doors and the windows, and he invited the deceased in to the table. And he said, come, sit, eat, feed, drink. I see you. I see you. I celebrate you. I honor you. Be satisfied. And so all that disease that plagued that child ate and drank and was full and satisfied, right? And their bellies round and can fit no more. And they leave happy, satisfied. They were seen, they were honored. And the child was well. And so Khonsu asks us not to avoid that which is difficult. He asks us to meet it, to honor it, to feed it, not to feed it in such a way, that like misery loves company kind of thing, where I'm like, oh, I just need to like keep dwelling on this thing and feeding it more. No, not that kind of feeding it, but like, thank you for what you've taught me. Here's nourishment, now go, right? It's that kind of feeding. Thank you for what you've brought me, now go. Now be full, be satisfied, now go. So that's Khonsu. And so as we look back over 2024, what aspect of 2024 was that for you, right? What aspect of 2024 had these waves? There was a lot of challenge in 2024, personally, communally, globally. But you also see that Khonsu here in his boat, he has this basket of goodness. He has grapes, he has wheat. He also has on his neck, I'll make it a little bigger. Let's see if I can make it bigger. No. How do I make it bigger? I guess I can't make it bigger. Anyway, he has a little infinity sign around his neck, right? This idea of the lemniscape, what comes around goes around, and we always end up back in the middle. Okay, so moving from what was into what is. What is wholeness. What is this truth that each and every one of us stand in this place between earth and sky. Each and every one of us breathe this beautiful breath together, right? It's the same breath that the ancients breathed. in Egypt, their breath and our breath, it's the same breath. The breath doesn't go anywhere. It goes in and out of living beings, right? It's in me one moment, it's in my plants the next moment, it's in my cats the next moment, it's in my dog the next moment, it's in the trees outside, it's in you, it's in me, it's in all of us, right? That breath we breathe. The same with the water, right? That is part of this earth. We all have the same water inside of us. We all eat of the earth and are made of the same matter, right? We're all whole unto ourselves. We are all arriving into this truth of our sacred purpose. I had this realization recently I want to share with you, because my whole life I've been a seeker, right? What is my purpose? What am I here to do? What and why am I here, right? This has been like my ever quest. Who am I? Why am I here? And recently I asked that question to myself again. What is my purpose? And it was almost like this incredulousness that came back, like, get over yourself. Like, your purpose is simply to arrive and experience the gift of life. And it was like, I kind of felt like, wait, what? That's all I have to do? That's it? All I have to do is arrive and experience the gift of this life that I have? Even if I'm really angry, or even if I'm really sad and deep despair, or super happy, or in deep ecstasy, no matter what, all I have to do is experience it. That's my purpose. Yep, that was the answer. And so in that, there's a wholeness. Right? The sacred purpose is the simply being who we are right now, because all that was is done. All that's coming, we'll get there. And when we get there, it'll be here. It'll be now. It'll be all that is. But for now, we can arrive into this truth of wholeness, that you are whole, 100% whole. And together we're whole, right? We need each other. We can't live in isolation. Just as Nuit and Geb create a wholeness, me and you together create a wholeness. And that wholeness becomes a we, right? And together we breathe together, we dream together, we create together. We hopefully will be sailing upon the Nile together in April, or on another journey that you choose to go on. So that's right now. And then this card, Alchemy, the 5 sacred elements. We have here the fires of the desert and the sun. We have the air of the flight, the wings. This is the sacred ibis, the Ak bird, which represents in the Egyptian soul bodies, the Ak is sort of like the highest manifestation of the human. We have the earth, the pyramids, the mountains, the growing things that come from the earth. We have the waters, the Nile, right? The fishes that swim. And then we have the 5th element in alchemical healing, and in that kind of tradition, we call it akasha. You could call it ether. Quintessence could be another word for it, spirit. And so this particular card isn't just one of them, it's all of them. And so what it tells me is that we're moving into a year of synthesis. We're moving into a year when the alchemical processes that have been moving through us personally, collectively, are coming to a culmination. There is a beautiful peoples in Colombia called the Cogaba people, and the Mamo is another one of their names. And in my work with the fountain, I have a job. In addition to this, I work as an executive director for a nonprofit called the Fountain for the Natural Order of Our Existence. And we work with them to help do land back programs, right? To buy their land back. We're in the process of rebuilding their sacred body, their sacred land under their feet, the body under their feet. And what they've been saying to us for many, 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 many years is that the end is falling into the beginning, right? And that the end began in 2012 and the beginning begins in 2026, right? So we're at the end of the end, and we're just beginning the beginning, according to the Mamo people. And so this last year is the last year of that ending and of that, the end falling into the beginning. And here we have the alchemy card. So what that tells me is that there's a lot of completion that's going to happen this year. There's going to be a lot of things that come to their finish. And not that it's over. Just because something comes to a completion doesn't mean it's over. It simply means it's done its revolution and now it's moving in the next rung of its process. And so as you move through 2025, pay attention to those things in your life that are finishing, right? And look at those things that really should be finished, right? How many things do we hold on to because we feel like we have to, when really letting go is what's called for? What things have we let go of that we really shouldn't have let go of because they weren't finished, right? And what can we bring back to us and re-examine? So what alchemy is moving through you, what processes are moving through you, so that by the end of 2025, you're ready to begin in the way that the Mamo are saying, right? That we're beginning again in 2026, that the earth has a reset of some kind. And we'll see, we get to live through it, inshallah, inshallah. So that's what I see in these three cards, Kansu, Nuit and Geb, and Alchemy. May you appreciate, face, honor those challenges in your life, because challenges aren't a bad thing. They're simply there to help us become more aware of ourselves and our surroundings. And Nuit and Geb, arriving into this beautiful wholeness, that you are whole, right as you are, who you are, where you are. And the completing, the final, the coming to closure and beginning again, right? So that's what I see. And with that, look at that. It's 12:59. We have 1 minute to go. I'm going to stop my share and see you all here. And yay. Yay, yay, yay.